Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be with Stefan Smulders from expandi.io. Stefan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me here. And as a fan of the show myself, I'm really pleased to be here.
Well, thank you. You have been featured in over 100 publications, including Forbes, Full Funnel, Growth Hackers, and many others. Tell us a little bit, how did you get started?
Yeah, that's a bit of an interesting story. I'm located in the Netherlands, by the way. And together with my technical co-founder, I came up with the idea to build out an IP tracking software 5 years ago. Long story short, it was a nice software to have for a lot of people. And at the end, they were all struggling with what's the best way to follow up all the identifications from website visitors. And that was the first start of seeing how I could help people do acquisition on a much more modern way. So I jumped on LinkedIn with 143 connections at that time point. And that's from there on the born of Expandi. I started an agency where I help people achieving great results on LinkedIn. And after growing my agency business, I faced a lot of challenges with software providers to automate repetitive tasks, which did not fit my needs. And actually from there on, I started Expandi. And that's now, we are now 2 years on the market. And indeed mentioned in over a lot of places around a lot of different channels.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. Tell everybody, what does Expandi do?
Yeah, Expandi is world safest software for LinkedIn automation, and we can actually automate a lot of repetitive tasks on your LinkedIn profile. And not only to automate connection requests or follow-up messages, but we have very intelligent ways to scrape people, for example, instead of running a simple sales navigator search, which is not always working perfectly fine anymore. We can also help you with scraping posts. So let's say a competitor or a colleague or anyone's post on LinkedIn. And within a couple of seconds, we can scrape all the audiences from each and every post, and the same for LinkedIn events. So you can hyper-target your audiences on an easy way using our Expandi software. And then, of course, with a lot of personalization, even with personalized images or GIF animations, you can approach, contact, or outreach these people using Expandi.
That is fascinating. So tell us, I know there have been a number of LinkedIn changes lately that have made people's results in general less effective, in your software program. Your program solves those problems. What have been some of the changes LinkedIn has been making that our folks might not even be aware about yet?
Yeah, actually great that you start mentioning it, because indeed since I think it was April 2021 that LinkedIn actually boycott the spray and pray approaches. and their answer to everything what was going on the platform was to reduce the spam. That's actually their main and number one problem. So instead of giving people an endless opportunities to send hundreds requests each and every day, they limited to 100 actions a week, which actually means that LinkedIn is not dead. The platform is definitely not cracking down, it's growing super fast, but they actually just want to reduce the spam. And that's why they brought, first of all, these limitations in place. So it means that before it was quite simple, right? If you book 2 less appointments, then you just put an extra people on top of the funnel, and then at the end there was always an outcome. Now it will become a bit of a more challenging in terms of qualifying and in terms of targeting. Now you really have to hyper target your audience because you only have 100 shots left each and every week. And I think that's actually the main difference. So in terms of strategies, there are some changes, but you can definitely use the platform, and also not only for making connections, but also for to send, for example, open emails, to engage with people more than before you try to contact them. So there are still a lot of opportunities, Seth, and I think that we are all here to stay. And in my eyes, LinkedIn is still a gold mine to hook up with interesting prospects, leads, or other types of people.
Absolutely. Now you talk about tripling responses by combining LinkedIn with email prospecting. How does that work?
Yeah, we also see that if you have less opportunities to engage with people on LinkedIn, it might be of help to also approach people by email. So what we actually did with Expandy in our V2 version, which is adopted and aligned to all the new changes they brought in place, is that with an easy drag and drop editor, you can define your own smart sequence. So let's say the first step of such a sequence is that we're going to visit a profile. If we're going to visit a profile, then we can grab the email address, for example, and then you can decide, okay, first I want to send an email. And if the receiver is not replying within 2 days, you can set a trigger and a filter. And from there on, we can, for example, do a lookup if the profile has an open status. If it has an open status, then we can start with that second scenario and send a free open email. If that's not the case, in the last opportunity, we can, for example, spend that connection request to try to make a connection. So actually, you can build your own flows. You can use, of course, LinkedIn, connection requests, emails, and also emails, which is a native part of our Expandy software.
Now, does it matter what email service provider I'm using?
No.
So then how does your system send emails on my behalf? Does it just integrate everywhere?
No. Yeah, first of all, you have to connect your email to Expandy before you can start, and also your LinkedIn account. And if you do both properly, then you can make an omni-channel steps during the whole sequence you build out.
And then talk a little bit about, I know you've got tens of thousands of users and Shoebox is full of case studies. Talk a little bit about the impact this has when somebody uses it correctly.
Yeah, I think first of all, there are a couple of challenges. And that is that you want to stand out of the crowd. First of all, right, everybody's doing exactly the same, sending the same boring, outdated messages and templates, which are overused and which causes all the spam we are facing. So to be different than everybody else, we have a lot of personalization features in place. So we can embed personalized images and GIF animations with, for example, besides a lot of dynamic placeholders, also your profile pic or your website. dynamic in it, and we will really upload it as a real upload in the LinkedIn inbox. So with using these kind of personalizations, you can interrupt the patterns, you can minimize the ask, and these kind of things will help you to increase reply and response rates with definitely up to a double percentage in comparing to people who are not doing that. So it will actually make your life easier. It will reduce time for the boring and repetitive tasks. You can do a much more smarter searches because we have a variety of different search types and actually scrape strategies in Expandi, and we can help you improving the reply rate so that you at the end get more traction on your outreach.
That makes a lot of sense. For our folks who are watching and listening and want to learn more, where is the best place for them to go?
Yeah, now let me maybe, if you're open, I can share and give, because everybody is constantly asking me, Stefan, what are the best approaches on LinkedIn? What, especially due to all the LinkedIn changes, I've built out a resource. It's an ebook about what I think, what's the best way to move forward on LinkedIn. I just dropped it with you in the chat. And I think at the moment, one of the best strategies to gain connection leads is to host your own LinkedIn event. Now, hosting an own LinkedIn event set, it's not that hard, but actually getting traction on that event and getting 1,000 attendees joining your event, that's a bit of a harder part. This ebook is filled with 12 untapped strategies you can use in combination with a tool like Expandi, which can automate all these repetitive tasks and will help you to get such amount of attendees to your next event. Everything is explained what you have to do before, during, after the event, templates, examples, and all the strategies you need. So I think it's definitely worth to share such a valuable resource in my eyes with the audience.
Absolutely. I just downloaded it. We'll put the link in the show notes so that everyone can get it. It is a treasure trove of information. This has been Seth Greene with Stefan Smulders from Expandi.io. Stefan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it was really great to be here, and I'm looking forward to see the episode along.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.